Most people think they know what makes Phil Collins sound like, well, Phil Collins. Big drums, huge fills, that explosive, emotional playing style. But here's the truth, some of his most iconic drum performances weren't actually drum performances at all. During the 1980s, both with Genesis and in his solo career, Collins helped pioneer a completely different way of thinking about drums and rhythm in popular music. Not as something you play, but as something you build. And once you hear what Phil Collins is doing, it changes the way you look at everything he did with Genesis and in his solo career. What most people miss is that by the mid-1980s, Collins wasn't even using a drum kit most of the time. He was using a drum machine. Inside Genesis, here is how the writing process evolved. Instead of jamming as a band, they often built songs from the ground up, and that ground began with drum machine loops. Collins programmed patterns and tight, controlled, repeatable drum loops for the band to write on top of. This means that the groove wasn't reacting to the song was reacting to the groove. That's a massive shift, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. This is why any of this matters. A drum machine doesn't drift, it doesn't push, it doesn't pull, it doesn't feel in the traditional sense. So why would one of the most expressive drummers in rock, Phil Collins, lean into that machine-like precision? Collins wasn't interested in losing feel. He was interested in redefining what feel could be and incorporating drum machines into a sense of emotion and feel. Instead of feel coming only from the sticks and his micro timing, it could come from structuring and layering and contrast. This is something that Jimmy Page and other guitarists had done over the years with guitar tracks. But drums were basically there to keep time. They weren't as textured, they weren't as layered. This is where it begins to get very interesting, because Collins didn't just replace his analog drums with machines, he blended both. He used the machines for precision and live drums for impact. He used the space and interaction between the two as a rhythmic tool in itself, and this is why his tracks have so much balance and such interesting rhythm tracks, because every hit feels exactly where it's supposed to be, but no two are exactly the same. So, did Phil Collins stop being a drummer in the 1980s? Well, he actually expanded into something much bigger than just being a drummer. He became a rhythm architect, someone who didn't just play grooves, but designed rhythmic soundtracks from the ground up. And that's why his music still sounds so modern, even today. Now, there's a much bigger question about Phil Collins in the 80s. That it goes right along with his shift in rhythm and drumming. If he was rethinking rhythm this deeply, what else was he rethinking? Now, Phil Collins didn't hide behind his drum machines. He used them to push rhythm forward, and in doing so, he helped redefine what drummers could be. He wasn't necessarily looking to use the drums to shine a light on himself as a performer, and that was part of leaning on drum machines. He was interested in the impact of the rhythm itself. Collins didn't use drum machines and rhythm tracks to promote himself as a player. He used them to become an architect, and he used them to help construct songs. Now, let me know what you think in the comments below about Collins' change in drumming style from his early days to the later, more commercial-oriented era of Genesis and his solo career. Not all drummers are built the same. Some peak early, some evolve, and a rare few design their style to last decades, but that's not usually the case in heavy and hard rock music. So today we're breaking down which drummers are most likely to still sound great late in life into their 70s and beyond, and why. There are 3 factors